very good morning to all our viewers. You're watching Rajya Sabha television and I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. And first, let's take a quick look at the top headlines of the day. Mental Health Care Bill 2016 passed in Lok Sabha. Bill decriminalizes suicide attempt by the mentally ill people. Prime Minister to chair full council meet. Review of GST bill top on agenda. Flagship schemes and development initiatives to be discussed. Social welfare scheme benefits cannot be denied to those without Aadhaar cards. Rules Supreme Court refuses to grant early hearing in Aadhaar case. India look to reclaim Border Gavaskar Trophy. Begin 87-run chase for win in Dharamshala Test against Australia. And 7th India Open Super Series Badminton Tournament gets underway with qualifiers today in Delhi. All eyes on Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu. Parliament passed the Mental Health Care Bill 2016 on Monday. It was passed by a voice vote in Lok Sabha after discussion. The bill decriminalizes suicide attempt by mentally ill people and provides for the right to better health care for people suffering from mental illness. It also has a provision to protect and restore the property right of the mentally ill people. The Rajya Sabha had passed it in August last year with 134 official amendments. The bill also focuses on community-based treatment and provides for special treatment for women. Health Minister J.P. Nadda described the bill as a progressive legislation that is patient-centric and historic. He said it has been brought after wider consultations with the stakeholders. Around 29 members participated in the discussion and almost all of them extended support to the bill in the lower house.
इस बिल में बहुत वाइडर कंसल्टेशन की गई है। इस बिल में सबसे पहले कंसल्टेशंस एट द रीजनल लेवल की गई, फिर कंसल्टेशन एट द सेंट्रल लेवल की गई, स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ कंसल्टेशन की गई और स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ कंसल्टेशन करने के बाद यह स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, डिपार्टमेंट रिलेटेड स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में गया और स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में भी बहुत चर्चा होने के बाद राज्यसभा में बहुत से अमेंडमेंट्स के साथ आया और सारे अमेंडमेंट्स को हम लोगों ने माना। यह बिल की ऐतिहासिक सच्चाई ये भी है कि शायद सबसे ज्यादा अमेंडमेंट्स इस बिल में आए जिनको हम लोगों ने एक्सेप्ट किया और स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के सभी रिकमेंडेशंस को हम लोगों ने एक्सेप्ट किया। श्रीमती टीचर जी वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि निम्हांस की तरह, और आपकी तरफ से भी अभी सजेशन आया था कि निम्हांस की तरह कोई हम, आपके सलीम साहब की तरफ से भी आया कि हम उसके बारे में सोचे। वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट। वी वांट टू सी टू इट दैट इंस्टीट्यूशन शुड ग्रो और उसके ग्रो करने के लिए निम्हांस को ही मेंटर बना करके वी वांट टू वर्क ऑन इट। वी विल बी वर्किंग ऑन इट। हम आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं क्योंकि आवश्यकता बढ़ती जा रही है और टर्शरी हेल्थ केयर में अगर हम एम्स बढ़ा रहे हैं तो निम्हांस जैसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस को भी रेप्लिकेट करने की आवश्यकता होगी। वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट।
Meanwhile, the opposition members came down heavily on the government on Monday during the discussion of the finance bill in the upper house. A united opposition criticized the amendments brought in by the government to give core powers to the income tax authorities and making Aadhaar compulsory for filing returns. Here is a look at this package.
The opposition took on the government in the upper house on Monday during the debate on the finance bill. Initiating the debate, Congress MP Kapil Sibal termed the government's move to bring amendments to the finance bill as an attempt to bypass scrutiny from the upper house. He also raised questions on the amendments in the Companies Act. He found support from other opposition leaders as well.
It seeks to muffle the voice of this house. In this bill, there are provisions which allow the government to snoop into the lives of citizens. Some people in the government may well be experienced in snooping, but this is a very disturbing trend.
This entire creation of a surveillance state, a totalitarian state, through this imposition of this Aadhaar and the control of the Aadhaar number and the personal data is totally violative of the fundamental right to liberty that the Constitution of India provides all citizens. And therefore, this is something that cannot be accepted and will have to be returned to the lower house with our rejection.
साल भर से ऊपर हो गया, कितने अमेंडमेंट आए कंपनी लॉ में सुधार के लिए, क्यों नहीं उस अमेंडमेंट को सदन में रखा गया? अमेंडमेंट के साथ कंपनी लॉ को क्या कंपनी लॉ में कमजोरी थी? कपिल भाई ने बताया क्या तमाम कंपनी में क्या आपने नियम बना दिए, क्या अमेंडमेंट कर दिए? इनकम टैक्स में आप सारी पावर इनकम टैक्स के अधिकारियों को देते चले जा रहे हैं, चाहे जिसका घर रेड कर दे, चाहे जिसका घर सीज कर दे, चाहे जिसके अकाउंट सीज कर दे। ये तो भ्रष्टाचार को बढ़ावा आप दे रहे हैं।
Several opposition members also raised objections on the amendments to the IT Act brought in through the finance bill.
For the removal of doubts, it is hereby declared that the reason to suspect as recorded by the Income Tax Authority under this subsection shall not be disclosed to any person, any authority or the appellate authority. So reason to believe and reason to suspect, the decision of the Income Tax Authority is final and it cannot be questioned. This is against the principles of natural justice.
ये ठीक है, आपके पास एब्सोल्यूट पावर करप्ट से एब्सोल्यूटली, वो पुरानी कहावत है, एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी है आपके पास, बट एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी का दुरुपयोग मत करिए। इस तरह से दुरुपयोग अगर आप करेंगे, इतना दुरुपयोग करेंगे कि एब्सोल्यूट मेजॉरिटी को लेकर के आप इस तरह के कानून बनाएंगे जिसमें कि आप लोगों को न्याय में नहीं दिलने देंगे, न्यायालय में नहीं जाने देंगे।
The ruling party members, however, defended the government, saying amendments in the finance bill are to give relief to the middle class.
बेहतर तकनीकी और पारदर्शी सरकार के साथ साथ निर्णयकारी नेतृत्व, डिसीजन लेने वाला जो नेतृत्व है वो देने का काम हम लोगों ने किया। आयकर में राहत देने का काम जो एक लंबे समय से मांग चली है वो हमारे माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी ने कराया और इसलिए 2.5 लाख से 5 लाख तक की आय वालों को 10% से घटाकर जो 5% की एक रियायत दी है वो देश के नए मध्यम वर्ग को ताकत देने का काम किया है।
The discussion on finance bill will continue on Tuesday, after which the finance minister will give his reply. Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The Supreme Court on Monday clarified that Aadhaar cards cannot be made mandatory by the government for extending benefits of social welfare schemes. But the Apex Court also added that it cannot stop the government from linking the 12-digit identification number to the opening of bank accounts or filing of tax returns. It also ordered to constitute a 7-judge bench that would authoritatively decide a batch of petitions challenging the Aadhaar scheme on grounds including that it fringes on the right to privacy of citizens. The Supreme Court said it cannot stop the government from doing so, but reiterated its earlier order in August 2015 that Aadhaar card cannot be mandatory to people to derive benefits under official welfare schemes. 2 months after the order, the court had removed the restriction and allowed the voluntary use of Aadhaar cards in schemes. Last week, responding to opposition criticism in Parliament, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley had said that Aadhaar card may soon become the only card required to identify a person, replacing voter IDs and PAN.
We are not making it mandatory. Nobody will be deprived of benefits only on the ground that he doesn't have Aadhaar. We are also making provision to give Aadhaar. A. B. We are also, in case there is no facility immediately, his application itself is good enough.
4 bills aimed at rolling out the much-awaited goods and services tax and usher in landmark tax reforms in the country were tabled in the Lok Sabha on Monday by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. However, the opposition parties objected to it, saying the introduction of these measures was not listed in the agenda of the House. These 4 bills will be together taken up for discussion in the Lok Sabha on Wednesday.
I seek move for leave to introduce a bill to make a provision for the levy of...
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Monday introduced 4 bills on the goods and services tax in Lok Sabha, paving the way for the government to launch the landmark tax reform. He introduced the Central GST Bill, Integrated GST Bill, Union Territory GST Bill and the GST Compensation to States Bill.
Madam, the Compensation Bill. Yes. I seek move for leave to introduce a bill to provide for compensation to the states for loss of revenue arising on account of implementation of the Goods and Services Tax in pursuance of the provisions of the Constitution 101st Amendment Act 2016.
But many opposition members opposed the introduction of the bills, alleging that they were not given enough time to study the proposed legislation. Raising objections, Congress leader K.C. Venugopal said the introduction of these bills was not listed in today's agenda and asserted that parliamentary procedures must be followed while dealing with important issues.
As per Rule 72, notice to oppose introduction of bills shall be addressed to the Secretary General and given by 10 hours on the day on which the motion to leave the introduction. There is a right of the members to give objection to each and every bill introduced by the government.
The centre expects to get Parliament's nod for the 4 bills in the current session scheduled to end on April 12th. It is estimated that rolling out of the GST can add up to 2% to India's economic growth. The government has proposed to launch GST from July 1st. Ravindra Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in response to a supplementary on the issue of crackdown on slaughterhouses in Uttar Pradesh, Commerce Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that only illegal slaughterhouses are being shut down and there cannot be a difference of opinion on the matter. The Commerce Minister was replying to a question asked by AIMIM MP Asauddin Owaisi during question hour.
What is being done in Uttar Pradesh is about the illegal slaughterhouses. And in that, I'm sure even the Honourable Member wouldn't want illegal any matter of export, be it meat, be it anything else. We don't want anything happening illegally. And the Chief Minister himself has stated it very clear. He's talking about illegal houses being shut.
On to the related development, meat sellers' strike in Uttar Pradesh will continue for the second day today against the statewide crackdown on illegal slaughterhouses. Meat sellers, especially mutton vendors, kept their shops closed on the first day of their indefinite strike, resulting in scarcity of goat meat in several districts. Meat sellers' organizations say the crackdown has created a fear among the traders and even licensed slaughterhouses were being targeted. UP Health Minister Siddharth Nath Singh, however, reiterated the government's stand that action was being taken only against illegal abattoirs. He said that the officials were directed not to act in over-enthusiasm or overstep jurisdiction. Meanwhile, Jharkhand also followed UP's footsteps as it also banned all illegal slaughterhouses in the state on Monday. The slaughterhouses were given 72 hours to shut down their illegal businesses if they failed to obtain license from relevant authorities.
गोश्त हमको नहीं मिल रहा है बड़े का, इसलिए हमारे कारोबारों पे बहुत ज्यादा फर्क पड़ गया है, इसलिए हमने अपनी दुकानें बंद कर दी हैं।
बूचड़ खाने बंद हो गए, जो अनलीगल है वो तो बंद ही होना थे, ठीक है, लेकिन कोई तो सूरत ऐसी बने कि भाई जिससे छोटे दुकानदारों को तो मीट मिले, जो कारोबार है वो अपना चलता रहे। उससे ये है कि भाई एक दो का तो परिवार है नहीं, इसमें कितने परिवार पलते इससे।
योगी साहब देश के लिए लड़े, गोश्त के लिए न लड़े, क्योंकि गोश्त से हम लोग पता नहीं कितने लोग कढ़ाई मची, आप खुद देखने वाले हैं कि बाहर के लोग भूखे मर रहे हैं। 2 दिन दुकान बंद होने से खलबली मच गई है।
ये किसी के विरुद्ध कार्रवाई नहीं है, एक व्यवस्था ठीक से चले उसको हम सुचारू रूप से चलवाना चाहते हैं। हम लोगों के संज्ञान में आया है और न ही कोई आदेश या निर्देश है चिकन या अंडे की दुकानों को बंद करने का। तो कृपा करके इस दिशा में कोई भ्रमित खबरें जो चल रही हैं सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से भी हम लोगों के बीच में आ रही है, कृपा करके इस पे कोई भी कार्रवाई ना हो और भ्रमित ना हो।
And a look at what else is making news across the country and nationwide. The Supreme Court has asked the centre to consider other effective measures to quell the protest other than pellet guns. It has expressed concern over pellet gun injuries suffered by minors and has said the issue concerns life and death. The Apex Court, however, said that though the use of pellet guns by the security forces was not a judicial issue, it can intervene in the matter to find a solution acceptable to the parties concerned. 7 suspected Hizbul Mujahideen militants who were allegedly tasked with disrupting the upcoming Lok Sabha by-polls have been arrested by the J&K police. The arrests were made in South Kashmir's Kulgam district ahead of the by-polls in Anantnag and Srinagar due in April. Kerala government has ordered a judicial probe into allegations of sexual misconduct against former Minister A.K. Sasindran. The Kerala Transport Minister resigned following the allegations. The decision on the probe was announced after Sasindran met Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. The Election Commission has reserved its order on the plea of 21 AAP MLAs that it should drop the case of office of profit against them. The MLAs are pleading that their appointment as the parliamentary secretaries has already been set aside by the Delhi High Court. The 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs are facing prospects of disqualification for allegedly holding office of profit. 8-time MLA Ram Govind Chaudhary of Samajwadi Party is set to become the leader of the opposition in the Uttar Pradesh Assembly. Party chief Akhilesh Yadav nominated him, ignoring stalwarts like Azam Khan and Shivpal Yadav. 70-year-old Chaudhary is considered close to Akhilesh and had served in various ministries in the previous state government. Madhepura MP Rajesh Ranjan alias Pappu Yadav was arrested by police in Patna on Monday in a case of creating law and order problem earlier this year. The MP was arrested from his residence at Mandiri area of Patna after a 4-hour drama that saw his supporters preventing the police action. The step against Yadav was apparently triggered by a clash between his supporters and police earlier in the day. The case in which the Janadhikar Party MP was arrested was registered with Gandhi Maidan Police Station in January this year. And with that, we'll slip into a very short break. On the other side, more news and updates. Stay with us.
Goa and Manipur looked like a stolen kingdom, as what the Congress says.
Opportunity was everybody, with the Congress party and with the BJP. We take the advantage of the opportunity.
There was some kind of pressure on BJP to declare Yogi Adityanath as the CM.
BJP is a political party. हम कोई साधु संत नहीं है. We have to calculate the political equations.
There could be a front staging of issues like cow protection, love jihad, forced religious conversion.
Let us wait and watch. Why are you blaming? It is the story of image versus reality.
Watch To The Point with Union Minister Nitin Gadkari only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a meeting with full Council of Ministers today. During the meeting, progress of different flagship schemes and development initiatives taken by the government are expected to come up for discussion. This would be the first meeting of the full Council after BJP's massive victory in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand Assembly elections. According to an AIR report, full Council of Ministers is likely to discuss a GST bill. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Monday introduced the bill in the Lok Sabha. Pertaining to the GST, a full day on Wednesday has been kept for discussion on the bills in the Lok Sabha. Meanwhile, the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has spoken to Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath about the alleged attack on African students in Noida. An African student has pleased her for a swift action, claiming that it was a life-threatening issue being faced by the students there. The UP Chief Minister has assured Swaraj of a fair and impartial investigation into the matter. As many as 5 Africans were allegedly beaten up by locals during a candlelight march for a 17-year-old boy who died on Saturday evening. The locals were protesting the death of a Class 12 student who is suspected to have succumbed to drug overdose. According to the police, the deceased boy's family accused their 5 Nigerian neighbors of murder and demanded their arrest.
कार्रवाई में हमें कोई किसी तरह का कोई भी कार्रवाई का काम दिखाई नहीं दे रहा. उनको हमने नामदर्ज रिपोर्ट दर्ज होने के बाद भी इन्होंने अरेस्ट करने के बाद में उनको उसी शाम को छोड़ दिया.
And in a second such incident in weeks, suspected militants on Monday evening opened fire on the house of 2 policemen in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian district. The 2 policemen, Assistant Sub-Inspector Dilbar Ahmed and Constable Riaz Ahmed, and their family were not injured in the attack. Police said that the militants broke some window panes of the house and vehicles of the corps before fleeing. Police said that they have cordoned the area and launched an organized search to trace the attackers. On some international developments, US President Donald Trump called up Prime Minister Narendra Modi and congratulated him on his recent electoral success. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said that Trump congratulated Prime Minister Modi on success in the assembly polls. Out of the 5 states that went to polls, the BJP formed governments in 4 states of UP, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur. It lost out Punjab to the Congress. The elections were being touted as a virtual referendum on Prime Minister's decision to demonetize 500 and 1,000 rupee currency notes. And Cyclone Debbie, carrying winds of up to 250 kilometers per hour, is battering Australian islands as it moves towards the Queensland coast. One death has been blamed on the cyclone when a tourist was killed amid stormy weather on Monday. The Category 4 storm is reportedly leading to property damage, power cuts and huge waves. Close to 25,000 people have been evacuated from Queensland in preparation for the Cyclone Debbie. Authorities said it would be the area's worst storm since Cyclone Yasi in 2011. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull earlier urged the residents to leave their homes immediately, adding that people should seek shelter on higher grounds. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology said the storm was gathering strength despite slowing its progress during the night. Emergency stockpiles of food and fuel have been set aside and the army is on standby to deal with the storm's aftermath.
3,500 residents have already been evacuated from the Home Hill area down to Proserpine. In relation to Bowen now, we have extended that and a further 2,000 residents will be asked to leave. If the police contact you or your local disaster management group contacts you, you must listen to this expert advice.
And a look at all the latest developments from around the world and World Wrap. President Donald Trump's son-in-law is to be questioned over links with Russia. Jared Kushner volunteered to speak to the Senate Intelligence Committee that is investigating alleged ties between the Trump team and the Moscow. The committee wants to question him about 2 meetings he allegedly arranged with senior Russians. The battle to retake western Mosul from Islamic State has resumed with heavy fighting in the old city. The fighting is the most intense near Al-Nuri Mosque, which is seen as a symbolic target in the battle to recapture Mosul, which is now in its 6th month. US-led coalition airstrikes have demolished buildings and killed civilians. The insurgents are also using civilians as human shields. The Maldives Speaker of Parliament survived an impeachment vote on Monday amid chaos after a dozen opposition legislators were sent out from the chamber for unruly behaviour. The motion against Speaker Abdullah Masih Mohammed, a close ally of President Abdullah Yameen, was defeated by 48 votes against none in an 85-member parliament after all opposition lawmakers walked out in protest at their colleagues' expulsion. Now on to some news from sports. All eyes will be on Olympic medalist Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu as the 7th India Open Super Series badminton tournament gets underway with qualifiers today in Delhi. The 2015 champion Saina will begin her campaign against Li Xiaosen of Taiwan, while Sindhu will take on Liang Xiao in the first round. Both the players are likely to face each other in the quarterfinals if they manage to topple their opponents in the first 2 rounds. In the men's draw, Kidambi Srikanth, Ajay Jairam and H.S. Pranoy will be in action, with Srikanth and Jairam on collision course in the 2nd round. And in cricket, India are on course for a victory in the 4th and final test against Australia in Dharamshala. The hosts started the day needing just 87 runs for victory with all 10 wickets in hand. India dominated the proceedings on the third day as they bundled out Australia for 137 runs in their second innings, limiting the final target to just 106 runs. Spinner Ravindra Jadeja, Ravichandran Ashwin and Pesa Umesh Yadav picked up 3 wickets each. Earlier, the hosts took a crucial 32-run lead as they finished their first innings on 332, powered by a half-century from Jadeja. With a victory in the final test, India will reclaim the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. See you again tomorrow, same time. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.